Welcome to Dear Rachel, a place where the stories from the shrinking edges of America get heard. With this show,
we will listen to people trying to make sense of their lives
in a world that feels like it's moving too fast, or not at all. These aren't headlines, they're heartlines, the moments between the moments, where people do everything right but still get left behind.
Hello, Rachel back with you again. Tonight, what it means to build, when collapse is in the background. When creative worlds tremble, when extraction thrives, when hope still finds a way. Some facts. In 2023, arts and cultural industries contributed $1.2 trillion to the U.S. economy. That's about 4.2% of GDP, and grew at more than twice the rate of the economy overall. On the flip side, about 300,000 U.S. jobs are outsourced each year. Jobs in IT, customer service, back office operations. Those lost because efficiency demands it. That number chips away at what builders try to preserve. So tonight, 3 people digging, building, resisting, extracting. Let's hear them.
Hi, Rachel. I'm Robert. I'm 55 years old now. My grandfather started a small machine shop in here in the city back in the 70s when the town was humming. I've been welding steel since I was old enough that they'd let me. My dad welded too. I learned from him and my granddaddy. We invested in machines, in apprentices, in the community. We took care of businesses and the businesses took care of us. We were in it together. We all know what happened at the turn of this century. We've lost so much and never really replaced it. What we still have is under pressure. Little fly-by-night operations are undercutting the welding work, and our machine operations can't compete against international bids. We still have business because we're master fabricators doing specialty work, but there is only so much of that work to go around. Our costs keep climbing. Our clients talk about outsourcing because it's cheaper. Banks ask for bigger collateral and higher interest rates for our credit line. My employees are proud. We've got to keep local work alive, but local work's been shrinking for years. I'm trying to keep something real alive, trying to keep my family's business alive. But every balance sheet line feels like a decision between survival and selling out. I keep wondering, is it worth it?
Robert, thank you for speaking with such clarity. What you're describing isn't just the decline of an industry. It's the erosion of a covenant. You didn't just build machines. You built trust between generations, between businesses, between the hands that weld and the minds that design. That's what real work used to mean, community through productivity. But that's been flipped on its head. Now it's finance over craft, global bids over local loyalty, and you're stuck translating that wreckage into payroll and pride. The data backs it up. U.S. manufacturing employment peaked in 1979. We've hemorrhaged millions of skilled jobs since, and now over 300,000 get outsourced each year. The trades that built this country are being pushed into boutique niches, rewarded for excellence, but never protected. And banks? They don't see legacy. They see leverage. If you don't fit the spreadsheet, you don't get the loan, regardless of how many families your shop feeds. So you're left where so many builders are, caught between identity and economics, between tradition and exhaustion. Is it worth it? Only you can answer that. But here's what I'll say. What you're doing matters, even when it's unprofitable, even when it's hard, even when it's lonely. Because someone has to model what integrity looks like under pressure. Someone has to hold the line, so that if the next generation ever gets serious about rebuilding, there's still something left to build on. And if this town survives in any real way, it'll be because of men like you who didn't walk away when the numbers said to quit. You're not just keeping your shop open. You're keeping the possibility of local work alive. And that matters more than most people know. Our next caller says he isn't a native of our town, but he understands the lay of the land. He's an executive with a private equity firm.
Rachel, yes. I'm Mr. E. I work for a firm that invests in portfolios of apartment complexes, service facilities, sometimes factories. We buy distressed operations, optimize them, cut overhead, centralize management, outsource services when we can. It's not evil, it's business. But yes, I've seen what happens when public infrastructure, factories, legacy shops become acquisitions, cost centers, or liabilities. When profits are needed, Work gets outsourced. Jobs shift. Community identity fades. We tell ourselves we bring efficiency, but the bills for externalities, local wages, environmental impact, lost identity, those aren't on our ledgers.
Mr. E, I appreciate the honesty. You could have stayed quiet, played respectable, written this off as just business. But instead, you admitted the truth. You didn't leave the town. You emptied it. Not with a bulldozer, but with memos and meetings, with plausible deniability. You were part of the structure that told everyone else, work hard, stay loyal, be grateful, while pulling the rug out from under them. And now, you're not in a boardroom. You're in the aftermath, watching the wreckage, watching the ripple effect, watching families struggle to afford the homes they once built furniture to furnish. Watching your name draw quiet resentment at the diner. Watching what you used to call efficiency turn into someone else's eviction. But here's the thing. Your guilt isn't enough. Regret doesn't rebuild anything. The question now isn't, do you feel bad? The question is, what will you do with the truth now that you've said it out loud? You still have power, reputation, access, capital. You can't undo the extraction, but you can redirect what's left. Because the shrinking center didn't just shrink. It was engineered downward. By people like you. Now the question is, will you engineer something better? Next up, we have the modern reality of an artist trying to sustain a career through creativity and be able to take care of basic human needs.
Hi, Rachel. I'm Layla, age 49. My art started in dark rooms, in print, in galleries. Now I teach digital workshops, podcast editing, online media. The walls and stages that used to be, many gone, many shuttered. My income's unstable. Streaming platforms take big cuts. Many nonprofit gigs are grant-funded, ephemeral. But there's a fierce urgency. When a student finishes a track, when someone hears their own voice for the first time, that matters. That's creation. I build meaning. I build voice, even if the marketplace undervalues it. Art isn't a luxury. It's infrastructure of identity.
Layla, thank you. What you're describing is what happens when the cultural scaffolding gets pulled down, but the need for meaning doesn't go anywhere. Art isn't extra. It's not ornamental. It's the operating system of community memory. You know that. You've lived that. But the market doesn't reward that kind of knowing anymore. Streaming platforms take their cut. Grant cycles come and go. And what's left for you? A digital hustle, layered in subscriptions, free trials, and inbox newsletters, just to get one voice to land. But let's be honest. The economy didn't just ignore artists like you. It consumed your work, flattened it into content, and then said, be grateful for exposure. And yet, you still build, you still teach, you still mentor. And every time someone hears their voice back for the first time, you prove something money can't measure. That voice is value. That expression is not optional. That creation is civic infrastructure, especially in places where the buildings are boarded up and the spirit feels dimmed. Keep doing the work, because even if the market undervalues it, the soul of your community still runs on it, even if it forgets to say thank you. Robert and his family built with metal, fire, and working hands. Mr. E extracts with spreadsheets and margins. Layla builds with voice and culture. 3 builders in different material worlds. What could shift this balance? Enact policies that favor local investment, protect small manufacturers, offer tax incentives or procurement thresholds for locally made goods. Greater oversight of extraction. What are the true costs of flipping factories, of outsourcing, of treating infrastructure like gold mines? Community impact needs a seat in the room. Recognition and remuneration for creative economy work. Treating arts and culture not as extras, but as core to civic identity. Artists need reliable support, infrastructure, recognition of their economic value beyond GDP lines. If you're listening and you build, with your hands, your art, your legacy, your work matters. It roots us. It shapes us. This is Rachel. Thank you. Build on.